Hello, and welcome back to another day. It is beautiful out. It's supposed to be like 80 today and hot, and it's not going to be cold anymore, so that's fantastic. We can properly thaw out for the year. So, Moses, bright out today, just like Moses' face. After he was talking to God. Uh, so that's constant reminders. So every time it's bright out, just remember God, right? Sabbath regulations are next, though. We're back to the rules. Then Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together and said to them, "These are the words which the Lord has commanded you to do. Work shall be done for 6 days, but the seventh day shall be the holy day for you, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whoever does any work on it shall be put to death." Look, I understand how the Pharisees got to where they got. And it started here. I get it. I get it. I understand that there are two sides to every coin. But it's malicious compliance is what it is. And it's not a good idea, and you need to stop. Work shall be done for 6 days, but the seventh day shall be a holy day for you. So they don't get mad at God, right, as well. Because they used to be slaves, right? I'm sure they got work 7 days a week. So, giving them rest. They need a better life. They need more rest in their life. We've put in a lot of work. You shall kindle no fire throughout your dwelling on the Sabbath day, even if it's cold. Maybe they didn't have to worry about that because they were in the desert. And Moses spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, "This is the thing which the Lord commanded, saying, Take from among you an offering to the Lord. Whoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it as an offering to the Lord. Gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, fine linen, and goat's hair, ram skins, dyed red badger skins, and acacia wood, oil for the light, and spices for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. Articles of the tabernacle is the next part. So they're still going through the tabernacle, which it's the communication point with God, so it is the most important part that he'd be setting up. All who are gifted artisans among you shall come and make all that the Lord has commanded. The tabernacle, its tents, its coverings, its clasps, its boards, its bars, its pillars, and its sockets. Okay, so when I said previously that they were using it up, they made the calf before they even made the tabernacle? That's crazy. The ark and its poles, with the mercy seat and the veil of the covering, the table and its poles, all its utensils and showbread. Does that mean that the tabernacle is almost, it feels, right, that idea, if it is true. So if it's not true, don't let this idea ring true. But if it is true, right, that would kind of taint the gold that was in the ark, which would kind of, that's why everything was so weird with it, at the end of the day. Also the lampstand for the light, its utensils, its lamps, and the oil for the light. the incense altar, its poles, the anointing oil, the sweet incense, and the screen for the door at the entrance of the tabernacle. The altar of burnt offerings with its bronze grating, its poles, all its utensils, and a laver at its base, and its base. The hangings of the court, its pillars, their sockets, and the screen for the gate of the court. The pegs of the tabernacle, the pegs of the court, and their cords. The garments of ministry for ministering in the holy place. The holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister as priests. The tabernacle offering presented. So they're presenting the offering at the tabernacle now. Is it built now, technically, I guess? And all the congregation of the children of Israel departed from the presence of Moses. Then everyone came whose heart was stirred, and everyone whose spirit was willing, and they brought the Lord's offering for the work of the tabernacle of meeting. It's being built now. For all its service and for the holy garments. They came, both men and women, as many had a willing heart, and brought earrings and nose rings, rings and necklaces, all jewelry of gold, that is, every man who made an offering of gold to the Lord. And every man with whom he was found, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, fine linen and goat's hair, red skins of rams and badger skins brought them. Everyone who offered an offering of silver or bronze brought the Lord offering. And everyone with whom was found acacia wood for any work of the service brought it. All the women who were gifted artisans spun yarn with their hands and brought what they had spun, of blue, purple, and scarlet and fine linen. And all the women whose hearts stirred with wisdom spun yarn on goat's hair. The rulers brought onyx stones, and the stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. The spices and oils for the light, for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. The children of Israel brought a free will offering to the Lord. All the men and women whose hearts were willing to bring material for all kinds of work, which the Lord, by the hand of Moses, had commanded to be done. And I'm sure for the beautiful handicrafted work that they had done, right? And all the skills that they had acquired through their years of trials and tribulations in slavery, they must have been really good. And it was probably a bittersweet moment, right? For Moses and everybody involved, which is like, you guys are so lost, but you're so good at what you do. You're fantastic, but you're lost. You're so lost. Other than that, it's like the scene in SpongeBob when Squidward is trying to impress Squilliam, and he tells SpongeBob to forget everything but but breathing and fine dining. And he even forgets his name. So, and for all the good work they do, right? I guess that's the seed of Abraham, right? And that's why we're here. And Moses said to the children of Israel, "See, the Lord has called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. And he has filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom and understanding, in knowledge and all manner of workmanship, to design artistic works, to work in gold and silver and bronze, in cutting jewels for setting, in carving wood, and to work in all manner of artistic workmanship. And he has put in his heart the ability to teach in him the Ahaloab, the son of Ahishamach, of the tribe of Dan. He has filled them with skill to do all manner of work of the engraver and the designer and the tapestry maker, in purple, blue, and scarlet thread, and fine linen, and of the weaver, those who do every work and those who design artistic works, and Bezalel and Oholab, and every gifted artisan in whom the Lord had put wisdom and understanding to know how to do all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, shall do according to all that the Lord has commanded. Then Moses called, well, that's interesting as well, right? Is that he gave them understanding of the work in which they had to do. Which is, if God does give you something to do, right? Hopefully you get some instructions. That would be nice. So you don't have to figure everything out. But other than that, he had a pretty good design, and he had it pretty well laid out to the cubit, to the half cubit, I'm sure, or millicubit. Then Moses called the two names that are really hard to pronounce, and every gifted artisan in whose heart the Lord in whose heart the Lord had put wisdom, every one whose heart was stirred to come and do the work. And they received from Moses all the offering which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service. Oh, wait. No, that's not possible. Right. Good thing I remembered. Not like the Israelites did. Moses used up all that gold because he broke it down and made the Egyptians drink it. So they didn't actually have that gold. So, nope. The ark is fine. The ark has been saved. Well, nothing's wrong with it. I just thought about it wrong. So they continued bringing to him freewill offerings every morning. Then all the craftsmen who were doing all the work of the sanctuary came, each from the work he was doing. And they spoke to Moses, saying, the people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which the Lord had commanded us to do. So Moses gave us commandment, and they caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying, Let neither man nor woman do any more work for the offering of the sanctuary. And the people were restrained from bringing for the material they had was sufficient for all the work to be done, indeed too much. Then all the gifted artisans among them who worked on the tabernacle made 10 curtains woven of fine linen and of blue, purple, and scarlet thread. With artistic designs of cherubim they made them. The length of each curtain was 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. The curtains were all the same size, and he coupled 5 curtains to one another, and the other 5 curtains he coupled to one another. He made loops of blue yarn on the edge of the curtain on the selvage of one set. Likewise he did on the outer edge of the other curtain of the second set. 50 loops he made on one curtain, and 50 loops he made on the edge of the curtain on the end of the second set. The loops held one curtain to another. He made 50 clasps of gold and coupled the curtains to one another with the clasps, that it might be one tabernacle. He made curtains of goat's hair for the tent over the tabernacle. He made 11 curtains. The length of each curtain was 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains were the same size. He coupled 5 curtains with themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops on each edge of the curtain that is outermost in one set. The 50 loops he made on the edge of the curtain of the second set. He also made 50 bronze clasps to couple the tent together that it might be one. Then he made a covering for the tent of ram's skin dyed red, and a covering of badger skin above that. For the tabernacle he made boards of acacia wood standing upright. The length of each board was 10 cubits, and the width of each board a cubit and a half. Each board had 2 tenons for binding one to another. Thus he made for all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards for the south side. 40 sockets of silver he made to go under the 20 boards. 2 sockets under each of the boards for its 2 tenons. And for the other side of the tabernacle, the north side, he made 20 boards. And there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under each of the boards. For the west side of the tabernacle he made 6 boards. He also made 2 boards for the 2 back corners of the tabernacle, and they were coupled at the bottom and coupled together at the top by 1 ring. Thus he made both of them for the 2 corners. So there were 8 boards and their sockets, 16 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under each of the boards. And he made bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the tabernacle, 5 bars for the boards on the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle on the far side westward. And he made the middle bar to pass through the boards from one end to the other. He overlaid the boards with gold, made their rings of gold to be holders for the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen. It was worked with an artistic design of cherubim. He made it 4 pillars of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold, with their hooks of gold. He cast 4 sockets of silver for them. He also made a screen for the tabernacle door of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, fine woven linen made by a weaver, and its 5 pillars with their hooks, and he overlaid their capitals and their rings with gold, but their 5 sockets were bronze. So it's so... I would say it's intricate, but it is, right? And it's a very intricate thing to describe. And if you look at some of these old cathedrals, I would say that they had a pretty good ability to describe, or at least do, right? Or at least accept whatever was in their mind to build some of these buildings. Because some of the patterns and designs that are on them are absolutely exquisite. And it's like, where does that come from? And it probably comes from descriptions like this, right? Being able to describe like a lotus flower design to somebody in words. You don't get a picture, you don't get no visual aid tools. You have to describe it in words. And then you got to get creative. Or that, or real black and white, right? You got to get so descriptive. So, they have a tabernacle now. Well, they have the outside of it, right? They have the tent. They have a big red tent, which I didn't realize, which is also... They have a big red tent with goat's fur on the outside and horns on the altar, and which is going to be a thing, and lamps, and they burn stuff on it, and this is the creation of, right, the religion that we all kind of know today with God and Jesus. So these are our roots. Don't forget, right? They're here for some reason, right? I don't know. The Jewish people are still around and they're still forgetting. So did we forget something? I don't know. It maybe seems like it. I'll try and remember, right? But what else? And did they bring enough? I don't know. It seems half-hearted to say. I mean, that's also easy for me to say, right, after the fact. I don't know. But also after the fact, like, he's threatening their lives. So, I mean, That's like the literal. You'll go through a hypothetical today, like a gun to your head, would you do this? But like this was the same thing, and they did their best, right? But maybe that's what it should have always been if you're living your life, but you're doing it for God. I don't know. They still hadn't made it to their destination yet, so this is just the beginning. They're still setting up the ground rules. But they gave more than enough, right? So at the end of the day, right, regardless of how much complaining and gruff that you'll give somebody, like at the end of the day, if you just show up and you do the work and you do what you say you're gonna do, that's good enough for God. And that's good enough for me too. So try not to get too angry at people, right? Give them an opportunity, and it's God's will. So find some peace in that. Don't ever get frustrated again.